thank you for joining us this afternoon at London Glassblowing. We have a very, very exciting demo ahead of us with this man here. This is Elliot Walker, and he's one of the exciting artists we're going to be showing at CAD in October. He's going to be demonstrating one of his rather remarkable goblets, which is a very process-driven technique. It's very fast. This is going to be a very challenging shoot to actually complete, because Elliot moves like grease lightning, and I'm going to have to try very hard to stay out of the way. So do bear with me if the video footage is a little bit more shaky than we're used to. Like I said, this is going to be quite a challenging shoot, but also a very exciting audience. I mean, we are very, very busy this afternoon, so it promises to be quite an exciting afternoon. So I'm going to follow Elliot backstage.
Just checking my kiln.
Yes, there are certain components that need to be kept warm during this demo, so we need to actually make sure all of the equipment is working according to plan. So I am just going to set the camera down temporarily. This is Beth, so she's going to be assisting Elliot today. She also has her own gallery. She works in partnership with Elliot. It's called Blowfish Gallery up in the West Midlands. So yes, we've got a good crew. Do either of you want to say anything?
I'm Rose. I'm assisting for the week.
Yep. So we're very fortunate to have Rose with us, work experience for a week, and even more lucky to have had Elliot with us for a week, because he's a very unique glass blower. He doesn't the kind of glass that he makes is very unfamiliar to our studio, so it's been a real privilege to watch him work. So we will start work. Elliot's demo is probably going to begin in the next 5 minutes or so. So I'm just going to put the camera down here, and you'll be able to see Beth setting up. Doing an introduction, so we're going to go round the back room here so we can see his introduction, so just bear with me.
And temperature control and skill working with glass, and the difficulty of this is a source of enormous frustration and a huge amount of pride for the people who actually go down this route to pursue this type of practice. All of this emotional and time investment culminates in a vessel from which to drink. So this is one of the oldest inventions of humankind, like a vessel from which to drink a liquid. Glass as a material is historically bound to the idea of function, and by transforming these very refined forms into a state where their function has been completely destroyed, I'm trying to elevate them towards an idea which is something more theoretical. The perceived violence by which this is done, with the nail going through the vessel itself, is an attempt to express the rejection I have of the dogma that has developed around their creation methods. So, put simply, making a wine glass is the hardest thing you can do in glass, which is just such a strange thing, and it's a difficult concept to get your head around. You'll see, later on why it's so difficult. And the initial idea of these pieces was to try and make the perfect vessel and then disrupt the form. And just to annoy myself even more, I've added an extra element to this, which is creating these vessels with the most complex pattern that is available for glassmakers as well. So we're going to have a go at doing this. So maybe in 3 hours you might see a finished wine glass, but we'll see. There's an awful lot going on in this process, and we're going to start it off we're going to start now so we can get through the initial prep stages of the piece so you can see the whole process. And we might have a vote at the end, like when I've actually made the vessel, whether we disrupt it and put the nail through it or whether we don't. So we'll see what happens. You might get to decide.
So if anyone wants to refill their glasses or get some water, we'll start to move through to the hot shop, and the demonstration will begin in about 5 minutes or so.
Is there any elderflower cordial? It's for that little boy over there. I think he's. Hello, Brian. I'll call you in 2 seconds.
Later on, you're going to go to Mummy's all the way back. Possibly have, do the supper thing with them.
Okay, so you've heard Elliot. So we're live streaming now. Would you like to say hello to the audience?
Why not?
This is one of our very long-standing patrons, I would say, at London Glassblowing. You've known Peter.
Well done for filming.
So we're about to start any minute now. So I'm going to take you through to the hot shop and we'll get ready. So this is Bethany. She's getting some of the colour ready. For those of you who have just joined us, Bethany Woods, she is Elliot's partner, and she's the brains behind the organisation. She has a wonderful gallery up in the West Midlands called Blowfish, and it's based at the same location that Elliot has his studio, which is the Red House Glass Cone. Definitely worth a visit if you're up in that neck of the woods. So as you can see, we have our audience beginning to arrive now. So we also have Rose, who's assisting Elliot today. She will be, like me, probably trying to be helpful and at the same time keeping out of the way, because Elliot moves very, very quickly. So I think wish us all luck.
Usually in the morning, but I never had one to stop by.
So if you have any questions, you online viewers, if you have any questions throughout the demo, please do comment. Post a comment in the comment section, and we have somebody who is on hand to answer them for you. So please don't feel you've got to wait till the end. You can post questions all through the demo. This is Tim Rawlinson. He's going to be narrating for a lot of today as well. This demo. So if you've just joined us, Elliot's explained what he's going to do. So he's going to be making a version of this Reticello wine glass. Now, the wine glass is the most difficult form you can make in hot glass. Not only is he doing the most difficult shape, he's also making the most complicated pattern you can make in hot glass, which is this crisscross design with the bubbles, which is called Reticello.
So that crisscross
So there is
pattern that you see
plenty to go wrong over the course of today, but hopefully nothing will go wrong. Elliot is a very, very skilled glass maker, so he's had plenty of practice.
So Elliot started working originally with Peter here about 10 years ago, and has now since gone on to open his own studio after winning Blown Away, becoming a superstar.
Yes, for those of you who are familiar with the Blown Away series, Elliot won season 2. So we're very, very privileged to have him here today.
So yeah, they're working. They used to work a lot together in the hot shop. They haven't done so much the past year or two. So finding their feet together in that way, which is always good and exciting.
Some more.
Do you want to talk about how you worked with Elliot for that reason?
This should be the squeeze bottle somewhere.
So Elliot's making some cane work at the moment.
We really had to push him hard.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
A lot.
So Elliot is using a damp pad of newspaper to shape the glass. To shape the glass there.
Incredibly lucky with the people who've worked in the studio. This being another of them. Have you met Anthony, by the way? Right. He's Rosie's just joined us, come over from Belgium. He heard that Elliot was going to be here, couldn't stay away, so she's come over to assist as well. And Bev, over there, has been, I don't know how many of you know, but we just had the it's still on in fact, British Glass Biennale up in Stowbury. The Biennale is part of an effort to regenerate that area. And Beth and Elliot have a studio up there now, and they are very much at the center of that area. He used to be the glass center, one of the glass centers of Europe, certainly the British industry. And I have to say the studios are the industry now. Really, they're a very big reference there. So we're trying to keep this amazing skill or,
Sorry?
yeah. So it is this industry, if you like. We don't like to call it an industry. We don't think of ourselves as being part of an industry so much. We're trying to make unique pieces. But these are vanishing skills. And fortunately, people like Elliot are, he's beyond compare, really.
That might be a bit small.
Spin it.
I'll butt out.
Thank you, Peter.
So that's a piece of cane. So this is what Elliot is preparing to make. So that solid bit of glass there, you've got the white core and all the clear around it. Once you have the heat just right, you're able to stick this iron, which is what clear glass on the edge to it, and you're literally going to pull the whole thing on a piece of paint. But it's all about having the temperature perfectly right through. So these are classic Venetian ways of working. As Elliot said, the Replicello is sort of, you know, can be the sort of the Everest for a glass maker. It's the gold trying to get it perfectly right. There's quite famous, he was actually in season 1, by the way, glass maker called Yanush, and he works with a very famous American glass maker called Dante Marione. And nearly all the work is done with the Replicello technique. And they have a plinth in their studio which holds what they deem to be the perfect Replicello cup. And if they think they've done one better, that they get replaced, and that they get the management sort of, levels of perfection and excellence sort of taken to the nth degree.
And that's the dogma that I'm against. There's a famous quote by, wasn't it, Harvey Littleton, who was one of the pioneers of the studio glass movement, and he basically said technique is cheap. So the idea that technical ability is something that, you know, can be acquired in a way that artistic ability can't be. And that maybe, you know, that used to be true at some point when a lot of people were technically trained, but we're at the point now where no one in this country is getting technically trained. So this is the part of the dichotomy, you know, technique used to be cheap. Making a vessel, you know, of the perfect proportions and everything used to be a thing which was, you know, not looked down on, but it doesn't have the same sort of artistry to it as making a sculpture or something like that, you see. And now we're at the point where more people can make like a sculptural piece of glass than can make a simple wine vessel.
So the pathway a lot of people take in this country is a sort of traditional BA degree. So myself, I did a 3-year degree, ceramics and glass, specialising in glass. And it's like Elliot said, it's an art course using glass blowing techniques. So rather than having an excellence in technique of making a certain vessel, making a certain size, it is based upon the artistic concept. But doing what we do, you have to have a certain grounding in the technique. So you can see that first part has been pulled out thin. This has still got a lot of heat in it. So you can gradually start to pull against and pull apart to get this nice, long, thin, white paint. Now these paint can be applied in so many different ways. Sort of Replicello form that Elliot's going to do. It's going to end up out of the car park.
Okay, can you grab just pop that on the floor, and if you can grab the Kevlar glove, right, you see where it's going to hit the step.
I was lucky to come to the studio when I graduated in 2011. Just from university.
This is a very, very long piece of cane.
Okay.
Now breaking the cane, that very, very long piece of cane, into much smaller sections. And he can use that to then make the Reticello cup, which is going to become the integral part of this wine glass demonstration. So that's quite something. He went all the way into the car park with that cane.
25 will have to be enough. So this is for 1 cup, for 1/2 of the piece. And we'll have another 25 for the other half.
So to create a retrocello, you need 2 sets of cane. These will be twisted up and then go onto an angle. Cane's going in one direction. You then make the second cup twisted up on the other angle. So that then when you blow one into the other, you get the crystal. And that's the retrocello.
Wow. Cool.
Obviously, the technically complicated part, you have to have twisted them in exactly the same way, so that when you crisscross, they're even. That's what's complicated about the procedure. And it's obviously all done by hand, you know. So quite a mathematical structure done pre-blown glass by hand.
Just one.
He wants exactly the same numbers of canes, so you've got the right number of crystals. So the next part of the match is you've got a row of cane that's this width. You then need to know the circumference of the blown glass on the iron that will perfectly roll up. So these are called pie dividers. So this measurement here gives you a measurement of the circumference of the glass you need. Yeah, so you can see it's got 2 different ends.
Who is it, Anne? Got one. Yeah, maybe.
Peter, no, the person who, no. It's not.
So this is a pie divider. So that measuring the width of the canes lined up and gives you a corresponding width and circumference.
Which side do you
Yeah, just a short piece. Because these canes are quite thin, you can put them straight into the heat. If they were much thicker, you'd have to preheat them slowly in a kiln. Because you use them straight to the heat in the crack.
Which are trapped when you put 1 cup inside the other, and the cane still has texture enough to intersect and trap a little bit of air. So this is the thing that you have to, this is the balance you're trying to do. It needs to be hot enough to twist the canes, cold enough to still keep the texture and trap the air. So at the minute, all the cane is still loose. None of them are connected to each other yet. work on something really small and delicate, it's a little bit to get your head around. So the first one, we're just trying to figure it out. Yeah, it's a bit longer. Yeah.
Glass making is a lot about rhythm. So like Elliot said, they've been working in a different studio for the past 5 years. Yes, he did used to work here, but it's not as familiar surrounding. It's best to doing something technical like this.
So you're just doing short
great thing that we do has to work. The heating is a really delicate act. If they're too cold, they won't stick together. If they're too hot, he'll lose the roundness that he's after. Or they would even stick to the hot plate. So he's just got to have them hot enough that they're all stuck together, but cool enough to not stick to the metal plate that they're being heated on. So he's got a blow pipe at the moment. Hollow metal tube you can blow down. Gather a clear glass. He's blown through the end of it to expose the opening. And he's going to use this amount of glass essentially as the glue to stick to that cane. So he has to make sure that the circumference of that is the correct width to be able to roll up all of those things. chain, began to gradually twist it around. Elliot wants that twist to run evenly all the way around. You might find at the end, you might then twist one edge tight and then the other. So it's going to be like you need blowing there. You've got the step punches in place.
So you see how quickly it wants to collapse as well. It's always like I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on when I'm trying to twist it. The whole thing wants to sort of collapse.
These are classical Venetian techniques of glassblowing. Years gone by, centuries ago, these were very jealously guarded secrets. Different studios wouldn't want other studios to know how they're able to achieve that.
How hard?
To some extent, glassmakers might try to leave to other studios. They might be going to different studios to try to protect their technique. That jealously guarded. But I was talking to earlier people about our generation. We're so lucky that we can just go on YouTube and see demonstrations by people and gain even just one little part of a technique, so we can come back in the studio and try. Before, either there was no way in hell you would get to see someone do it, or each generation and travelling to these different countries and studios to physically see what's happening.
Again,
The level of knowledge is now so wonderfully spread by the internet, means you're getting these techniques very much
hard.
guarded or just based in certain regions spread all over the world. So obviously there's nothing like being able to go and see someone do it themselves.
Can you hit the step closer, please?
Yes.
So Elliot closed up the bottom now so we can begin to inflate the vessel. Bethany is blowing on the end of the iron while Elliot uses his tools to manipulate it. A much more controlled way of blowing up the glass, having someone blow whilst you're controlling the glass with your other hand.
Blow. Stop. Keep. Lovely. That's alright. There's a bit of something going on at the top.
Lovely.
Time for a demo one. In a rush.
So Bethany has got punty iron, a bit of clear glass and a solid iron. That's going to stick on the end of the piece. You'll be able to break the piece off Elliot's iron and onto Beth's iron. What that enables you to do is exploit the fact that it's a vessel, it's hollow. So you'll be able to then use the opening to make it wider into an open vessel form. Just have to have the temperature perfect right for that to work, otherwise the piece will just drop to the floor.
Can you give me another number? Then I'll need that little step. Got a little step. Little stool thing for me to stand on when I blow in.
up inside the kiln and keep it warm to be able to use it later. Together, twist it up, and then create a second layer. Conductors of heat, gas, so they're absorbing the heat from the metal plate before they go into the extreme heat. If you did it just from room temperature, like I said, they could crack or shatter. Another artist that we're showing in Pan, an American artist called David Patchen.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me. I've just noticed we've got some comments that have come through. Yes, Elliot warmed his gloves because the cup that he finished was actually very, very hot. So if his gloves had been at room temperature, they would have shocked the cup that he just made and potentially cracked it. That's why you generally warm the gloves before you knock the piece off into them, particularly when the glass is quite thin. And then you put it away into the kiln. That's going to hold it at about 560 degrees.
So we're very pleased to also be showing his work at Pan. Very incredibly laser intensive in terms of paint work. And like I said, an American artist, so really his work is easy. So one of the excellent people who we're happy to show with. And as I said, they'll be doing a collaboration work with James Deborah. So there's a very cool piece in the gallery, which is blue, ship's head right in the middle. So we're thinking those sort of forms, but with David Patchen's intricate 3D paintwork puppet. So very, very happy to be able to show that work. Wait. Together now, so Elliot can start to get some clear glass on a blowing iron, get that the right circumference width to be able to then roll up those canes. Scala. Been working with the studio for well over 20 years. 25 years, happy anniversary. Man and boy. Anthony has recently been accepted to the Royal College of Art, and he's been granted a special scholarship as well to attend. So we're delighted for him, and we're delighted to see what work he will produce from that. Anthony also shows some work that we will be showing exclusively at PAD. Incredibly labour-intensive pieces that involve casting geometric pyramid shape, which he then laminates all together to make a whole. He will then cold work the entirety of the outside of this piece that becomes one whole thing that's fully polished. We're very lucky to have a few of those pieces. One such piece recently was Biennale also has won a prize, so it's really exquisite work. Congratulations.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
There were cards which outlined not just the PAD show that we're doing, but also then the in-house event. So this is the first.
So Elliot's just
demo
brushing
that
off
we're
the remainder of
doing. We've got a selection of whole other demos. And David Paxton,
it's almost like a refractory material that stops the glass from sticking to the metal plate. So she's using that bamboo brush to remove the residual of that.
Myself and Anthony are also doing a demonstration. It's going to be unique in the morning. Anthony will be showing a cold demonstration, so working on the glass when it's cold, so the cutting and grinding, which we've only done one of those before, so there's quite a fresh take working with the glass. Usually only get to see the rock and roll part, the hot shot part. I call it the editing, hot shot. So that'll be a first time Anthony's done a demonstration with that client, and then in the afternoon I'll be doing a hot demonstration of some of the new work I've made. And then the final part of that series is Louis Thompson and Hannah Renmark with a series called Panicum. So imagine very even thinner versions of this sort of cake, almost wispy. They get collected inside a really large, beautiful vessel contained within, almost like Spider-Man. And they are extraordinary pieces to behold. They've made some brand new ones and they make up the final live demonstration. Beginning of November. Okay. Remember which way to turn, Alan? Yeah. So if you first one you've done clockwise, you have to do the second one anti-clockwise. Otherwise they'll both be going in the same direction.
And that has, I've done that before, I'm sure.
Yeah. If anyone has any questions at all throughout, please do shout them out. Yeah. So the glass that we use here is called Glassman. We buy it from Sweden. It's a very specific recipe to have perfectly clear glass. We melt it with sand, there's no flux. You would have glass, but it wouldn't be optically clear. It would probably be quite cloudy. Barium is actually the key binding agent of our glass. We find that A, it's nice to blow, B, it has good clarity, but also, so like in my work, I cut through the glass, I polish the surface. It's very good at polishing up and also being able to cut it without it fracturing. So yeah, we've been using that that glass for a number of years. Sorry? Soda lime glass. So Elliot recently did a project in his studio of melting so offcuts from glass bottles, and then with a very specific different ash woods and or seaweed, I imagine.
Yeah, it was a glass that was made from waste materials from other industries. That's the general concept behind it. So the silica came from oyster shells, which were gathered from, is it Whitstable? Is that on the Cape Coast? Whitstable, yeah.
Yes.
So they have all the oyster places, yeah. Then the potassium in the glass came from waste product from the wine industry. So it's like attempts to move towards a sustainable, chemical-free sort of glass. Okay, so we're going to be blowing in a minute.
There's a lot of alchemy in glass. Not just the clear glass, but then the way you create coloured glass is by adding different metal oxides to clear glass. That creates the colour. So in Elliot's work here, blue material.
Okay, blow hard.
See that iridescent metal quality? That's because the silver is in a particular colour. We have a reduction technique, so use very gassy flame, count the oxygen and the metal glass nearly there. So there's lots of different alchemy within the glass, ways of exploiting it. Peter for years has looked at the fact that if you use two different metals in a colour and they touch, you get a reaction. So Borealis pieces.
Stop. Okay, hard. Stop. Lovely. Okay, cool. Okay, so after all of that faff, we're now going to go into, we're going to make the pattern basically. So this is the second twist. Hopefully it's going the right way. There's still texture on that. So hopefully there's enough on the inside of the other cup to trap that air. This is something that, like, you know, was done in the 15th and 16th century. I mean, people still do it now in Italy, but they have like whole teams where they've sort of mechanized, like semi-mechanized the whole process. So you can buy a Bretticello bottler if you have the money to spend. But at the point when this was invented, glass was like more valuable than, it was one of the most valuable materials on the planet when it was worked, because so few people knew how to do these techniques. And that's why it was used so heavily in still life paintings. It was showing the opulence of the scenes, you know. Okay. Yep.
So Elliot's blowing that into the cup that's already in there. So we have to have the exact right volume to which to fill it. And if you think it's got itself literally expanded to stick to. Okay, turn it back down?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because of those ridges, the undercuts, that's where you trap the air.
Okay, so I'm just going to make sure nicely. And then
So they're sort of they're stuck together, but it's like two separate pieces of glass. They'll be melted in together to become one whole form.
just get rid of the
If it
pipe.
wasn't hard enough to do that colour technique, Elliot's going to use that whole bit of glass to make these three separate components of the cup, the stem, and the foot.
Okay. Low, not too hard, not too soft, just right. Stop, thank you. Stop, stop. Okay, and again. And stop, okay. So what tends to happen at the start, if the are all quite square because these cups are relatively cold because they're so thin. They don't retain much heat at all. So in order for the bubbles to become round, you have to work it and rework it and rework it. But again, there's like this thing. If you can make a pressure with square bubbles and make a vessel out of that, you'll be very popular in certain nerdy circles. Okay. And to be fair, this was a little bit rushed, obviously, because of the demonstration purposes of it. You can see how that pattern has been created. And if you look through it, now you can't really see them yet. So when I back this with black, you'll be able to see the colours a bit better. But if you look down there, you can see there's like a sort of difference in the way the light goes through. Yeah, that's the air tucked in there. Right, on the small way. You pick up a piece of black.
So obviously these white canes suspended within clear glass. And this goblet has black interior. So definitely got blowing line. In a moment she'll pick up a piece of black glass, begin to blow that to become the interior colour. It's quite a unique way of putting those together.
We've got the black on it now.
Yeah. So black's it's the black bit basically.
Okay. So that's a very dense piece of colour. Preheated in the kiln, it's quite thick. If you're using powdered colour like this, you can just put clear glass directly on it and then stick. A very thick piece of colour like that, you have to preheat in a kiln. So therefore just take some time heating that through, melting it in, so you can then start to get some air inside and blow with it.
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
Very nice.
Time for
There's quite a difference of
Question: would
Yeah.
that Reticello cup be enough to provide all three of those components, or will you have to do that 3 separate times?
No, that would, yeah, no, I'm not going to bore everyone with that. No, so this, that's a good question. So, the cups are made in 5, we've already played this. Yeah. Okay, so it's already been explained.
no.
So yeah, so we'll make each of the sections out of this one set. So yeah, the little
the consistency of the clear glass there. It's almost like honey or golden syrup. That's the hottest that you use the glass. Much cooler now when you're sort of manipulating it. Inside and blown to fill perfectly that void. And blow hard. Hard, 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 hard. Hard, just keep blowing. That's great. Thank you. You've got really beautifully thin layers. You can see that's Elliot's really showcasing you lots of different techniques around all these. Sealed that cup a bit much, so I'm just going to pop it on a. I'm going to cut it off and then pop it on a collar. Yeah. All right. So a bit of wax on those. That is the colour now, red. Yeah. From that entire form, we'll make these 3 separate pieces. The stem and the foot. First part process that you can really walk away from. You might sort of like put something down, go have a cup of tea. Generally with blown work, like once you've started it, you're bound to finish it. And even on something that might not necessarily be that physically heavy, the aspect of heating at 1200 degrees, constantly back and forth, it does take, especially if it's a summer month, it really requires a lot. And then if you think you're working at, let's say, 10 kilos, and you're putting in
the little cough rings in there, the little ones.
try glass making a lot of beer.
Yeah, so I think why Tim thought about mentioning the stamina is because I did such a bad job of attaching that to the end of the iron. Is that right?
I wasn't going to mention it.
I'm getting a bit tired now, you know. It's like, it is about that. It is about stamina, and it is about keeping the concentration, and not only me keeping the concentration, but everyone else who is involved in making the piece, keeping the concentration, you know. And it's a difficult thing to do. But you have to do it, otherwise the piece will just look shoddy. Okay, gently. Stop. And again, gently. And stop. Yeah. And I've already made a few mistakes. That always happens, you know. Whenever you're making anything, there are always a few little errors in there. This is quite a big one I've got to sort out now, but. But it is, you're constantly adapting what you're doing, so it doesn't matter how good you are, you can never do anything perfectly because the glass has a mind of its own a lot of the time. And so the ability to salvage a piece is actually way more important than thinking about how you can make every piece perfect, you see.
I mean, the glass can be a diva. You can decide to do something different.
Very gently. Very gently.
I find, and I know Peter knows, especially the way he works, very often what you might call, what Elliot's saying is a mistake, can actually be a really useful process to lead to something completely new.
In the layer?
Sometimes you just have to let the process lead the way. To an artist who used to work with David Flower, he always phrased it as
Very
conversation between you and the glass. Quite a nice way of explaining it.
Stop.
Yeah, I would beach comb, you can tell me that. But we just put that little piece in.
So little bits that get cut off, people will often see them on the floor of the studio and be more intrigued by those bits than the pieces that are out of face. And they'll slightly take those away. Do you want to tell people about what's happening next week? Next week we've got Bermondsey Street Festival. So the festival was actually saved by Gina Johns, who's the director of the gallery here. She's taken on the responsibility of saving the festival. It goes along the whole street. Everyone that works in on the street has different stalls. We're doing different demonstrations here. There's amazing food, drink, dancing, jugglers, a dog show. It's a really fun day out if you're going to come. Please, if somebody wants to learn more. Yeah, that's next Saturday. Up the different parts of the goblet. piece of glass to a certain form to be able to get to that kind of form. Before it looks like that, it will go through 5, 6, 7, 8 different shapes before it gets to that shape. Knowing that process. The glass is such that if you try and jump us now, go a bit sloppy with one of them.
Where's Peter put that middle bit?
Have to be diligent and have patience with the process.
In the middle.
Oh, that's alright. The middle's fine. Can you just trim this down a little bit now for the next part? Yeah, just a tiny bit, yeah.
One door open.
Now I'm hot.
Okay.
Don't squish it.
One of the best I can do without it banging it. It's very gradually up at the back of the sauce.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so we need, where's the book? Okay, Beth, no, please. That's great. Harder. Stop. Whoa. On a sliding scale.
Trying to adjust the heat that's in the reheating chamber. Roughly around 1200 degrees.
Super
Sort of work, that's a very large reheating chamber. It enables us to make quite large pieces that you see in the studio.
Okay,
In
harder.
solid making, you usually work on a far smaller reheating chamber. What it means is, you're blowing something that's relatively thin. This is so be very careful about how hot that actually gets. We're just trying to reduce the heat inside of it and not go aggressive.
Okay, blow. Stop. Thank you. Lovely. Alright, so we need weights first. Yes, you're blowing, yeah. chances of that going well are just quite huge, really. Have we got the practice one around?
Oh, the cup, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the cup. You know, you've got this little joint here called the abolio. The idea is to pick that up out of the kiln. See, very tricky. Take it over here, heat it, and then pop it on the bench like that, where I can attach it on. So yeah, it's horrible. Horrible. Luckily, Beth's going to do that. No pressure. Okay, can you turn the kiln up a bit?
When you're assisting, especially when you first start assisting and you have to do these sort of things, and you can see a glassmaker taking whatever amount of time, it can be very nerve-wracking part of the process. Best fine, it's still good.
I'm going to take the I'll make it Can you just hook, you see this all that soft brick? Yeah, just sort of scrape a bit of dirt onto the bottom left of the corner. That's not a file, that's a pair of tweezers. Yeah, it's not going to be sharp enough to get it.
There's one which I'm not going
Oh, right, okay.
over there.
Alright, don't worry. Okay.
On your bench?
Yeah.
It's alright. Oh, where is one? Thank you. Sorry, we'll have another one in a minute. There's a straight hook as well over there that we'll put it away with. Okay.
That hook, obviously, before you get the not that hook needs flashing before we get the thing. Okay. Pull the foot off this, so it'll be Marie's folio. Okay, blow gently. Hard. Stop.
It's amazing to think of the evolution of these ideas like the 15th century. Going through so many levels, steps and processes to get to this point. How they figure that out. And I think that, yeah, my fault. Yeah, I'm sure there's some chicken and eggs.
Okay, blow again. Stop. Blow gently. Okay, hard. Really hard. Stop.
You can imagine the rivalries of the different studios. Something that goes into shop, commercial,
Gently now, gently. Off. Nice.
If I was fortunate enough to play out droplets to get to the stage of making the separate bits, I would stop sticking it together and having it straight. Have a tough one together. Alright. So Beth is looking after the stem. Elliot's got a blowing iron, so he's got that clear glass around it, blown through it so it exposed the hole. You can use that clear glass as glue to stick to the last bit of Reccello colour inside, which you can make the foot from.
Turn it down again.
What's the benefit of the dirty country?
A dirty punty has it's the sort of joint benefit of making the connection really, really weak, so that when you want to remove the whole piece, it comes off quite easily. And the other benefit is making it more difficult to keep the piece on the iron.
So if the connection is too strong, it can break any other connection point when you tap in the iron. So you want that to be the weakest connection point of all.
Yeah. And that.
So that's what this fine powder is. Apply that to the clear glass before doing the final punting, and it will make that joint more fragile than it would be normal. So hopefully means it comes off cleanly. I mean, it's attached quite precariously. Okay. Alright. For me, with Elliot's reference series, especially the early ones that got more nailed to the wall, I really like the humour, the idea that this is such a technical exercise, and the frustration of the craftsmen trying to get it right, losing their temper, and nailing it to the wall in anger. I think, as you can see from the process here, why it might end up that way. Okay, a little bit more here. So this is the attachment of the
Blow
foot.
gently. Stop.
Beth is blowing down the tube
Blow.
whilst it's being joined.
Stop. Nice.
Ah, it's brilliant. Lovely.
Took us about 4 months to get that bit right.
There's something I've heard Peter explain to a lot of people before about sort of buying glass, and they sort of might think of the individual piece. Like Elliot just said, one specific element might spend 4 months learning how to achieve. So the level you might see one piece in a few hours,
everyone involved in this. Yeah, you see the cork, just this cork, just a block of cork, it's fine. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, that's perfect, yeah. Just, yeah.
This way.
If there's a flat one, like a small one that's flatter, that'd be great. If not.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, slanted.
One right top.
No, the wooden.
Great.
That's not flying.
It's not flat either. Well, this one is.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Can you move the soffietta, the shears, yeah, just stick them all mind around. Amazing. Okay, right. Get rid of the paper as well. Paper gun. Thank you. Right, Beth, that's yours. Okay, not too hot. This is fine. I can squish onto that. And I need a small metal stick.
This, as you can see, is the foot and the stem of the glass. So now we're going to, now Beth and Elliot are going to assemble the whole piece.
All right. bits that need to change the most dramatically, you see. You can see now that bit of extra heat. It really shows up with the black glass. So I'm trying to keep the stem relatively cool. Hopefully, one smooth action. So I don't want it to go too far. I want the middle. See how the middle's moving a little bit more? That's what I'm after. The foot started to go a little bit, but it takes a few goes to get this right. So I don't want the cup to completely flatten either. I want it to look like, you know, it was hammered. Yeah, that it was hammered. It didn't settle into this shape without a bit of resistance. So making sure that I have the heat in the right place so the whole cup doesn't just flatten out into like a pancake. It's part of the trick.
It's the beauty of those torches. You can isolate the heat in very specific spots.
There we go. So this lip has started to sag a little bit as well. So I might accentuate that a little bit so it has this sort of, you know, droopiness about it. But the cup's basically, you know, the glass is connected in the centre. So I need to work on the foot a little bit. Then I need to make sure that the stem is bent as well so it looks natural when it's up on the wall.
Bravery of these pieces, bravery of then making something so beautifully put together to then destroy or distort what was perfect. Something so wonderful about it.
So where the nail's going to go is slightly off to one side. So I need to bend the whole form very, very slightly so it looks like the weight is over to one side. So the distribution of the weight looks natural. Water, a little cup of water over on the marble. That's great. There we go.
everyone for coming to see this specimen. Thank you so much to Elliot. That was a really unique demonstration and absolutely wonderful to see that from start to finish done in that way. Thank you to Beth, thank you to Rose, their assistants. And yeah, if you want any other questions, we'll be gathered in the gallery shortly. Please get another glass of bubbly and happy to have a chat with you about any different parts of the process.
Right, so what, yeah, well, thank you too. You've done a great job too. So the top of this piece is what Elliot demonstrated this morning. You notice it's lustered. That in itself is fairly tricky business. So, yeah. Do you want to just say a quick word about what you're
I'm a bit tired now, I need to drink. I can't talk anymore. Yeah, I will do. If anyone's got to through it.
Yeah, talk to Elliot in the gallery. Well, thank you so much.
So there's a little souvenir for you to take back. If you want a bit of bubble wrap, I'm sure the girls in the gallery can give you.
That's amazing. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it. We don't have glass blowing like that here often, so it's quite a special demonstration. So thank you very much for joining us for Elliot's live demonstration today. I'm just going to take you through to the gallery and show you some of Elliot's pieces before we leave this live stream. So Elliot's going to be showing with London Glassblowing at Pad. So these are some of the pieces that he's just made.
Think out of this.
Oh, there we go.
Make the set.
So it goes to show the perfection of the finished piece in the middle and the frustration of the ones that haven't quite worked. And these are versions of the piece that he made this morning. Again, that demonstration wasn't live streamed, but it will be available to watch on Instagram later in the week. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at PAD in October.